checking the things. Are we live everywhere? Because I'm scared that we kind of forgot how to do this.
Yeah, someone said it's like riding the bicycle. So
It's not
once you just say yes.
okay.
But how have you been? What's going on?
It's so strange. Like, it's fine. We haven't seen each other or did the show in the past 3 weeks. It's okay. I'm fine with that. But so many things have happened, and I feel like we have a lot to talk about.
You've been keeping secrets from me.
No, then your internet connection is really bad. So it was more natural way of you coming back to Europe finally and having a good proper internet and me being able to call you.
No, 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 no. No, no, no. Like I just find out 5 minutes, no, not even 2 minutes before the show that you got a dog.
I have a dog. I mean, I didn't
What?
get the dog. My partner has a dog, and now we are all a family. So I have a
It's
dog.
like a huge thing.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
And you know
Let's
what's
take it easy. So we have we
yeah,
have we have to do a bit of catch up. We're
yeah.
gonna we're gonna talk about
Mm,
tough decisions in your life, tough decisions in my life,
yeah.
and looking at the future.
Um, yeah, it has been a very crazy month. Very crazy month.
You sent the tweet
Yeah, I shared
just
the
before
tweet.
we started the show. Yeah. We don't usually I think we never really took one of your tweets on the show. But maybe it's time we open up your tweet and we go through it because it's a bit I think as far as tweets go, this is pretty big. Like what would be a bigger tweet than this one, to be honest?
I'm not sure. It's like this whole like I mean I will say like past 3 years this has been my life. So making like this type of a decision, it's quite hard. I think
So
I've
can I
yeah.
read it for you? Do you give me this honor?
Yes.
Because the least I could do to honor these fantastic 3 years of excitement, of challenges, but also of success is to
Mm.
kind of give you an homage on this whole adventure. So Sandra says, one chapter of my life is ending and I'm beyond grateful. You see the intonation and everything like I do. Yeah. I have an announcement, Sandra says. I've decided to step down from Clue and take on a new challenge. These past 2 years, building and marketing Clue have been absolutely amazing. There were so many lessons learned, incredible people met, and honestly, it was so much fun. I found myself building an audience and doing unexpected things like speaking at the events. Oh, I remember that one. Creating guides, co hosting a podcast. Hey, it's this one. And building a community. Hey, it's also this one.
Yeah.
The Clue team will continue to do great things. I'm absolutely confident they're an excellent stage with strong growth ahead. But let's talk marketing. So let's talk marketing, but let's talk Sandra. I'm interested in how are you feeling? What's going on right now?
Um, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very positive. Like I don't like I'm super grateful. I think we did great stuff. I think also in this whole process I've learned so much. Um I've been like that's the whole interesting thing about marketing. The thing is that like accounting and managing people or something like that. I've never done that before, but I was put in the situation and you have to learn these things fast. Design, editing, bunch of stuff. So like when I take a look back on what we've done, like it's or how I grow as a person, it's amazing. And then I met all of these people and I met you and we started a podcast. Like so many different things happen. And I don't think I would be able to achieve something like that if I went in any other path 2 years ago. So I don't know. I feel happy. I also feel sad because I got emotionally attached.
Yeah, can I touch on that? Because I think all of us go through this huge question of letting go of our baby and, kind of taking apart from us. How do you feel regarding that? Yeah, is it sad that, you put this work and now you leave it in great hands, but it's not in your hands anymore?
Yeah. It's like your child going to a college. That's how I feel like. I've raised it. I've put the milk in it. It has grown as a
Wow,
person.
milk. Okay, okay, okay. That's some visuals.
And from the bottle. And
Oh, thanks for clarifying. Yeah.
I don't know. And now it's gone to do great things. That's how I see it. That's the only way. But the thing is, like, like, I've really got emotional. I think that was the toughest thing. Like, I at you want to take it with yourself, but I don't know where to place it. And now it's like I think it's a perfect, also like a moment for someone to step in. I think the stepping down and then someone coming in, and that's what I wrote also by the end of that post. It was like onboarding this new person. I think we all have so many things to bring to the table, and sometimes stepping down could be even better for the company because the new people can see things differently and grow it differently. And so I'm kind of like looking forward to seeing that. But
Yeah,
yeah.
so when you're so close to the product, after some time you stop seeing the bigger perspective and you're too zoomed in,
You are too
and
zoom
maybe
in,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's always good to have a fresh outside opinion. I think that's also why a lot of companies get a new CEO just from the outside to kind of turn things around. So yeah,
Yeah.
but okay, that's all good. I think it's tough, but it's a new chapter now. What's next for Sandra? What's
I
gonna
have, I have,
what's gonna
I
happen?
yeah, I have good plans. I'll keep you updated on that. But it's looking good. I'm excited. I'm excited to take a new challenge, and I'm excited to kind of put myself again in a situation where I haven't been and try to figure out stuff and grow from there and learn and share this journey to others. And I'm actually excited because I take this podcast as like a diary thing where we kind of like, if we look back when we started the podcast, where we were there then and now, it's kind of crazy. So, like, we're going to record all of these things here. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm like super confident that the next thing is gonna be awesome as well. But you also should take some rest, I guess, some time to separate things. Do you plan to do that? Do you plan to, I don't know, go off the grid? Or you've already done a bit of that, right?
yeah, I
Right.
went to the mountains like for 2 days. I think that's it.
2 days is all you need, and you're fresh. You're a new
I
person.
climb a mountain then. I'm ready. By the way, do you know how hard it is to climb a mountain? Very hard.
I have an idea. Yeah, I have. Well, okay, there are different levels. So, do you mean walking up or actually using the tools to
You
like
know, just
climb up?
walking up, and I was
Just walking.
already on a half of the mountain. So like I'm not even climbing the
Okay, so you
mountain.
took a taxi to the half, and then it's like, oh my god, the taxi was so difficult to find. Yeah, okay.
Ooh, it was a crazy drive.
All those corners, I got a bit sick. It's
Oh,
really crazy. Yeah, but then there was Wi-Fi at the top of the mountain, so all good.
I posted a picture, and I had like a t-shirt, or like, how do you call it in English? A proper white meeting shirt.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you actually were ready to pop out the laptop and have a
Yeah,
business
yeah,
meeting
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
mountain. Yeah.
And then I realized, okay, maybe like people noticed that, and I was like, oh my god, Sandra, like I need better equipment.
That was
I,
quite stylish, wasn't it?
yes, I agree with you. If you climb a mountain, you climb in a style.
Yeah, yeah. There's no other way. What was the thought process into getting an iron shirt, climbing up the mountain?
You
Can
know
you
that
please explain?
level guy, have you
Yeah,
heard about him? He
first
always,
time.
yeah, he always has this yacht, or he's an airport and has his laptop out and etc. For me, it was more like if I climb a mountain and I have my laptop out, like imagine that scenario, like 2000 meters up,
So
laptop.
everything's planned in your life. There's nothing by coincidence. Like you just didn't grab that shirt
except
by.
except I didn't bring the laptop. That was so stupid.
So you couldn't actually take the photo.
No, no. But
What a
next time,
classic. Yeah,
next time.
what a classic. I actually have some really good. So, do you know what Shibuya Crossing is?
No.
Okay, so when you see these like slow motion or like not actually the opposite, these videos of people moving fast, like lots of people in Tokyo, and they're crossing these roads, right?
Mm,
That's like the most crowded intersection, whatever. It's called Shibuya. Anyway, um, I was there and I was with my laptop, and I was like, wouldn't it be really fun to just like in the middle of all of this, this pull out the laptop and like do some support or something, like check the mail or whatever, and get. So I actually have photos of that. I have a lot of photos like that, and but I kind of slowed down. Okay,
no,
I'm not gonna steal your.
wait.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
no,
steal
no,
your
no.
stuff. No, no, no.
No, there's
Let's.
no
But
stealing. Like that's it. That's all
was
about
that a
me.
transition? Was that a
That was a
transition?
really good transition. Then, now the spotlight is on you.
Oh boy.
How are you
So,
feeling?
good.
Mm,
Actually, very refreshed. I'm back in Europe, by the way. I haven't announced that, and that's I think part of the lesson here is that being out exploring more, I've
mm,
distanced myself from X and from building as well, and I think ultimately that's why I kind of like. I'm not gonna spoil the whole thing because I think we can have a big discussion, but that's ultimately why I thought this is not working very well for me because being there and being in front of a computer just seemed like a waste of time somehow because there's just so much to see. It's so interesting. It's so different. And then I slowly, like in the beginning, I like found the cafes and did some work and so on. And the more I stayed, the more I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't
mm,
have to do that. And that's also, I think, one of the lessons that I'm gonna just put out from the start is I think this kind of we idealize this thing of you go to Asia, it's cheap. I'm gonna build something. I'm gonna be super focused, and I'm gonna have a huge runway and whatnot. I think that works best if you're very constrained. And my problem was I wasn't constrained. I was like, okay, next day, where do we go?
yeah.
300 kilometers that way. Okay, let's do it. And it was the same in Korea. I think Korea was even more interesting to me for some reason. It seemed a lot more different, and yeah, I just like I did check out. There are startup spots, and there's so in Seoul there's like this Google office, and you can just register as a I don't know how they called it, like entrepreneur or whatever, small
Mm.
business, and you can use the Google office and just stay there. Like they have good Wi-Fi, free
Oh,
coffee,
nice.
everything. Yeah, that was actually super cool. So like I could maybe see myself like if things settle down, like hanging
Mm,
out there. There's some other shared offices. I met Yulia
yeah.
from Postmark there, and they're also renting. Like in Asia, there's this shared office chain, and I think you kind of need that. Like if you go with the expectation of I'm just gonna go around, find a cafe, and do something fun. Like 1 hour into this, you're gonna think, nah, there's like a lot more interesting things to discover. I'm not gonna be inside, doing this, and you're just gonna bust out and not do it. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
I wanted to ask, like, you were there for 3 weeks. It would be very difficult to kind of like squeeze into that schedule, work and um, absorbing the culture, and like it's totally different and enjoying your time. So
yeah,
I get what
yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying in
So
that sense.
Korea was even shorter. I think it was just 10 days, and then Japan was three and something weeks. So I think it's
Mm,
also that if you stay longer, then things are less interesting. And that's
mm,
another point. And I think I started to feel that what was interesting in the beginning could be annoying if you just live there.
yeah,
So, at first it's just different and it's not good or bad. But then after a while, you kind of realize that some things, take more time, or some things, like it's just a different process to do things. And people don't speak that much English too, and that's quite difficult. And like if you're gonna open a bank account and a company and like, move your
were you
residence there,
checking how to do that?
yeah, sure, yeah, and I actually think it's maybe not worth the trouble unless you really settle on one of them. So that's why this was kind of, let's try it out and let's see how it is. And I don't think it was representative. I think trying it out has to be more like 3 months,
Mm,
first of all. And then second of all, you need to do these big changes, you need to know that you want to be there for more than 6 months, maybe a year, and then you kind of look into the company thing. I think the best way to actually do that is to make a company in the States, though. As far
yeah.
as I was reading and asking around, like you get an LLC in Wyoming. That seems to be a sweet spot. Like before, it used to be in Singapore, and that apparently is very tough to register a company there. They got quite strict, maybe because everyone was doing it. So
But can
yeah,
anyone just register a company in US?
um, yes, I think it's a bit more complicated. You need some sort of address, and there are proxies that can do this for
Mm,
you. But in principle, yeah, you do need, like, I think the recommendation for the people that I talk to is to get one of these tax lawyers, like specialized in this kind of thing. Like, don't do it by yourself, because there's all sorts of small things, and you might, either end up doing illegal things, or having to pay some fine, or stuff like that. So
mm,
I would probably get one of those. But yeah, asking around, I think I wouldn't be very comfortable doing it in Korea or Japan, because there's such a big communication barrier. And yeah, a lot of the stuff is written down in English, but speaking, like, forget about it.
yeah.
And that's actually quite interesting, because they all seem highly educated and you know pretty advanced as a society. Uh, Maybe it's something regarding traditions and all of that stuff, but not many spoke English, and then you can get into some pretty nasty situations where you're stuck somewhere and you don't have anyone to speak to like get out of there. But
Mm.
you do have internet, so that's fine. Like compared to China, I think it felt a lot easier, because in China you also are limited internet wise. So imagine you don't have Google Maps
Oh
at
yeah.
all. Yeah, so it still felt relatively okay. It gets a bit stressful. However, having your entire life there, having some health insurance and so on, yeah, it would be a little bit scary to do that without knowing the language at all. So it seems quite difficult to learn either Korean or Japanese.
Yeah, you choose the best countries too.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but the other thing that I realized is you don't have to be you don't have to buy into one country. It's fairly easy to travel around, and they're very close. So it's like you decide to fly to Italy
Mm.
next week, right? And you can just do it. So that's how it is. From Korea, you decide to fly to Japan next week, and you just do it. It's 1.5 hours, or you go to Thailand or
Do you see
whatever.
yourself in months or years living like that, or would
Yeah,
you
I ask myself
relocate?
the same question. I think being in Europe is not the best as an indie maker because
Mm.
the cost of living is high, the cost of services is very high, and taxes are very high. But for some, it's quite difficult because this is also where you have family and friends and so on. And what's
Mm.
is it all about making money? Because if it's all about making money and extending your runway, I think Asia is pretty much a no-brainer. I mean, living there, okay, if you live in Seoul or Tokyo, it gets quite expensive. So I wouldn't choose that. I would choose a smaller city or, some sort of village, even like somewhere out. And as long as it's connected well, and in Japan, pretty much everything is, then you're good. And then eating out and so on is just, I don't know, sometimes one third the price of Europe. It's crazy. So
Yeah,
you can really stretch out your runway. And I think if you get past this excitement, if you get past, you get comfortable there, you can, of course, start building things and just travel in weekends. So I was talking to Yulia, and the way they build is they try to do a routine. So they go to this shared office and they kind of force themselves to be productive, and then they take weekend trips. So there's still some exploring and enjoying where you are, because the danger is you're there, but you're just inside anyway. So you don't really see anything. You don't really, you might as well be anywhere
yeah.
inside, right?
That's what I wanted to ask. What's the difference then? Um,
Yeah. Yeah. So then why did you move away from your family, from your friends and so on? Well, then there's still the financial aspect, right? Which is a big part, especially when you're starting. I mean, yeah, doing the same, especially in the Nordics where things are so much more expensive.
oh yeah, we choose the wrong countries then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, in general, I'd say yes, but it depends who you are. It depends how much you like to have a home base. So I think
Mm.
for me, I also realized this, that to get productive, I have to get a little bit comfortable with with my setup, with where I am, with this entire thing, because if I don't, then I'm too excited to explore. I don't know. I'm curious about things.
Of
Maybe
course, yeah.
it's like a trait of creative people that you're just, yeah, you cannot be in one place. And because of that, I did very little work. Like Sandra, I can't imagine. Like just I could maybe do what I did in more than 1 month in 2 days usually. So like very little stuff.
But this is the problem, like we have with this lifestyle, even though we love it, you never know when you are on vacation. And you don't close your laptop, you don't have that mindset, okay, I'm out now, I'm gonna watch the sand and the beach and drink cocktail and enjoy all that, because we are always in this mood that we have to do something. So even if you don't do anything, you are still putting the pressure on yourself that you're not doing anything. So that's
Yeah.
that's like, I'm listening what you're saying, and you left for 3 weeks, and it should have been, or I at least saw it as a vacation and exploration part.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think of it like that, but in the end, I guess it turned out to be that, without even realizing that it's going to be that. And I didn't think it would be like that, because if I if I go to China, for example, I know I'll probably won't return there. Like it's sort of maybe I'll be there twice in my lifetime, right? Because
Mm,
it's not really the place where you settle. You go there, you see it, and that's it. You've experienced it. It's really not, you know, it's not the place where you go and make a business, is it?
mm. Yeah,
And then you kind of feel like you have to use all of your time because you're not going to be there anymore. But Korea and Japan, I mean, you can always go there, and there are places where you can live. Like there are a lot of people from Europe that end up living in Japan, and they even learn the language. Like I met
mm,
some people that were there for 10 years and they were speaking Japanese, and that's it. That's where they live. So I thought
It
because
becomes
of
home.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought because that's an option, I wouldn't be so pressured to see things. But I think I was wrong. I think you need a lot more time before you get into that mindset.
Mm,
So I I guess what I'm saying is, do not expect to do a lot of work in the beginning, and
mm,
if you do, then you have to constrain yourself. And that was the problem with constraining myself was I come from a fairly privileged position, so I don't have to do work. Like I didn't have to really, except for customer support and just keeping things running. I wasn't forced. Like I wasn't looking at, oh, my runway's going down. What am I doing? So I think that was an issue. I think this is like the wrong time for me to do it. Or either I set a goal and say, well, I go to Asia, I go for this amount of time, and I want to have this revenue in this amount of time. And then I try to, and then I'm gonna have to change my lifestyle to
mm.
reach that goal. But I didn't go with any sort of goal in mind. I just went,
Yeah.
and it turned out I didn't do much work.
And
So,
that's totally fine.
and that's totally fine. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm gonna be back. I'm still considering if I want to be back for something like 3 to 6 months. Like I think the back of my head, that's always been a plan. So this was like an initial exploration. Now you're a lot more comfortable after you do this to go again, because you kind of know how things work. Like
Mm,
what's what's a good deal and what's not. Where should you live and where you shouldn't, and where should you eat, and what's the expectation of the budget there, and so on and so forth. So, and that's the other thing. I think a lot of people in the indie maker community, they they don't need that much MRR to be there, to be honest, and that's pretty cool. So if you're in that position where your business is starting up, I think with $3,000-4,000 a month, I think you could live there. It's not a luxurious life. Maybe with 5,000, it's already getting pretty good, and everything above that is a bonus. So
mm.
$5,000 MRR. That's, I think quite a few people have that, and you could be living comfortable in Asia. So that was a bit blowing my mind, because with $5,000 in the Nordics, I mean, it's okay,
Mm.
but it's not. Yeah,
Ideal. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You
And
pay
then
your
there's
apartment,
taxes.
and then I wanted to ask you, is
Yeah,
that, are we talking about net or
yeah, after tax.
after
So, and that's
taxes?
the thing. If you want that after tax in the Nordic, then we're talking double or
You're
more,
talking
right?
double. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
double.
So, but that also depends how you see things, because a lot of people like luxury, and a lot of people like fancy things, eating out at fancy places, and so on. So it varies from person to person. But I didn't mind going out for a ramen
Every
every
night.
now and then, every night, twice a day. Like ramen is not the most healthy thing, but it's also not the
But it's like a
worst.
soup, and in my culture, soup is super healthy.
Soup is good, and actually that's a side topic. I think they're really good with this, and they're really good with mixing soup with some sort of main course and balancing things out. I think ramen is maybe a little bit outside that, but usually you get a small miso soup, a little bit of rice, a little bit
Mm,
of meat, like nothing much of everything, but like a good combination that just seems balanced somehow. So like that's a lot to learn, because in Europe you just like
have
slam a
potatoes.
huge potato and then half a kilo of meat, and that's
Yeah.
your go to Germany, and a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you're still overthinking, like you're still thinking about the possibilities of
Um,
actually spending longer time there. Let's not say
Yeah,
moving.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That didn't change. It just what has changed is this time frame of how long do you have to be there to actually live there, and
Mm.
I think it's at least 3 months, but ideally 6 months. And I think after that you realize, like, the realization was that I don't know exactly how it is to live here, because when things are interesting you accept them even if they're annoying to you, you know.
Yes.
So for example,
Yeah.
just going to public transportation where everything was super civilized and people were sitting in the queue, and they would just make a queue without anyone telling them to make a queue. Like, that's not something that happens in Europe. In Europe, everyone's in for themselves. But then you might miss some trains because people are just so respectful with each other. And I'm like, just move, just go in. So, yeah, maybe we're actually a little bit disrespectful, as yeah, our manners are not as evolved as they are there somehow. Like, people are very nice and respectful, and services
Mm.
are also very good. So there's a lot to like as well. But some things could get annoying to you after a few months, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But then you can always fly back.
Yeah,
But that's the thing, like making these tough decisions, like what is the process? How do you kind of like, and what do you include in making these decisions? So I mean, it's not, I was going through something similar, and you take and you try to look at the situation and your life as well, and what can you do and what you can do and how much you can take, and how do you handle the pressure, because like me moving forward and stepping down from Clue, and then you taking and considering this, it's like a lot of pressure you put on yourself. And then
yeah,
people around you as well. Many people in this community have families as well, and we have too. And it's like too many things to take into account.
yeah,
So
for
yeah.
sure, for sure. I Yeah, I think it's also the type of person you are, because it was fun to. So I think most I stayed was 4 days in a row in one place. So just moving around, packing up all your stuff, going to the next location, traveling light. That is a thing you need to like to do it long term.
Mm,
And some people do, but I think no matter who you are, at some point you feel like, okay,
I need a
I
home.
need a place. Yeah, I need a place where I can just be with my thoughts, because we have some other people that take this to the extreme and they're still living in Asia. Oh, let's take Nico.
Mm,
Nico locks himself in a hotel room for 2 months. Literally, he doesn't step out. He just orders food and he builds inside for 2 months. And that's his productive zone, his safe space, his whatever. And everything else is cut out, so he doesn't have any distractions.
mm,
And that's how he gets to be so productive. And I didn't get that before, but now I kind of get it, that
you have to.
there's yeah, you have to, there's just so much to do. It's so interesting. You kind of have to, again, put some constraints on yourself, like even if they're artificial, and say, okay, 2 months I'm locked in no matter what. I'm not going out. There's a lot of interesting stuff. It's nice weather, I could go to the beach. No, I'm staying in this hotel room and doing work, and that's it.
But that's the thing as well. Like whenever you go somewhere, it's very hard. Like I've done these things where you go and work. Like okay, I'm going for 10 days somewhere, and I'm gonna work. Very difficult, very very difficult. You can't pretty much. Everything else is so much interesting. But it made me think like, are we only having this mindset when we go somewhere, of exploring something and going somewhere? I think like, at least for me, and I think we do this together, but we do complain about weather a lot, that it's snowy and rainy and it's depressing and all of these things. But this snow and rain makes us work. That's our hotel room, at least in Nordics. But we could still explore things and do things, you know.
Yeah.
So are we making wrong choices in the sense, like
Oh yeah.
every weekend we could close
Yeah.
that laptop and go explore, in your case Copenhagen or the cities
Yeah.
around it, and You could go to
Sure,
Germany even for a weekend, like it's not a big
sure.
deal. It same
But
goes
that's the
to
thing.
me.
That's the thing. It's again, even if you're here, it's not like there are no interesting things to see, but you
Yeah,
still choose not to because you need a productive stretch to if you have a big break in the middle, there are two options. If the break is not long enough, you come back with some energy, but not long enough is, 2, 3 days. Everything longer than that, and you kind of forget what you were doing before. You
yeah.
have to get back into it. And that may be, to ramp up to where you were before, that takes a few more days. So then you cannot do it again. You
Mm.
just, maybe not all people are like that. I can also recognize that some people can work with it, but just personally, I need to be in the zone. I need to be
Mm.
kind of engulfed in this, and that's all I think about when I get into that. That's all I think. I have the ideas. I know I have this plan in my head. I know how to do the marketing. I know what are the next steps, and I could just sit down and work on it. And that was really, I didn't feel that there because I was moving around all the time. So that might have been also my mistake that I should have just stayed in one place for longer. But there were so many places
It's
to
all
see.
too many. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't. I totally get that. I think the next time you go, you can decide on the city and the place you want to be and kind of
Yeah.
absorb the culture and the people and that place
Yeah.
and kind of find the ways to work and be
Yeah.
productive. But the first time is very difficult.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
difficult.
So that's also a lesson. I don't think if people are listening and we're thinking to do this, if you haven't been there before at all, just know that it takes some time to figure out what you want to do because there's so many different countries. They're easily accessible. They have, different weather, different culture. I think you maybe need the first month to just pick a spot. And then
Mm.
once you pick a spot, you probably need a few months to get productive in that spot and realize if that's for you. So maybe the best is just to pick a random spot and see how it feels. That's also an option.
Yeah. But then what do you think? Can an indie maker have this life? Like family life and working life and managing to be productive and manage to build things and then have a runway and or have like the side job but then having a side job and making your own projects and then building a family as well. Like these things are not easy. Do you think like moving to a country that is less expensive would make a life a little bit easier? And like, because from my perspective, what I've seen, like, I'm not in Finland only because, like, the reason why I'm in Finland, and it's super expensive to be in Finland, the taxes are really high. But then there is this stability, at least in my head, that it gives me. Like somehow you are home and you are safe. And if you plan to have, I don't know, family, there is this ground you have. So you're not changing much. I'm just like, okay, tough decision, tough podcast today. But
It's yeah, yeah. I mean,
how can we make this right balance, I guess? Like,
the only one that has the answer is you because depending on what point in your life you are, you can
mm,
actually say that this is for me or not. I think this is a better approach for you're young, you maybe, you could have a partner, but also adding the kids in this would make it tough for the reasons that I said before. People don't
mm,
speak English, and you have a different kind of responsibility because if the kid gets sick, and they will, then you need some sort of doctor, health insurance, so on. So that only amplifies it, makes it a bit more difficult. Probably it wouldn't be for me. I think there are other people that are adventurous, but for most people, I don't imagine this is the right choice. But if you're before that, I think it's really the place to be. I think it gives you energy. I think the fact that the costs are lower, allows you to be a little bit more confident in, in what you're building, and have some sort of leeway, because the runway that you might spend 1 year in Europe could get you 3 years there. And that's a huge difference, knowing that for 3 years you're okay and you can just
Oh yeah.
keep on building. And if it doesn't work, you just build another thing. You can do one thing every 3 months and keep going. I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and I definitely say go for it. That's the whole indie idea, that you can be anywhere in the world and work on your own business. That's the place to be. Completely agree. Family wise, I think Europe is, it's easy if you're from Europe in the first place, of course. If you're not, I think in the Nordics especially, it's a lot easier, because
We
they're
have a
more on
support system.
yeah, it's more on the socialist side, right? So you have a lot of things covered, and the kids get everything they need, and healthcare is good by default ish.
Ish,
Let's
yeah.
not talk about that. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about all this. You don't, yeah. So I'd say, if you're not there yet, take the opportunity, go to Asia and stay there for at least 3 months. Pick a spot. I think it's going to be a great experience, and I think at the very least it's going to give you something to think about. It's going to give you some perspective, because that's what it gave me. You don't even need 3 months for that. 1 month is probably enough to kind of think, because there's also this barrier of the unknown. I don't know if you feel this, because it seems further away, and it is, and
Yeah.
that's difficult for some people. That if you have family in Europe, for example, or in the States, for that matter, it takes at least 10 hours to fly there. Like, you cannot just be there. You cannot just jump on a plane and be there in 2 hours. And that's a pretty big mental barrier for some people. Just thinking, yeah, I cannot live with this thought that it takes so long to be close to the family if something happens. I know
Yeah.
if you have this too.
I've never been outside of Europe. And that's like going to Spain is something very exotic to me. So I don't know. And my health card still works there. So I'm that type of a person. I'll go anywhere where the European health card works, which is sad. I think that's sad, honestly. I think I should explore more and see more and kind of put myself into these situations more. And
What's stopping you from going to Asia?
I don't know, pretty much. I would like, I don't have this, I don't think I have this mindset of like living and working there. I just that type of a person. I want home, and I think I could go there, but still keep my apartment here
Sure.
and just,
I mean, you don't have to go there forever, but
yeah,
why
yeah.
don't you go there for 6 months?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It feels far away. It's unknown, as you said. I'm always a little bit overthinking, like what if something happens? I would rather go more on a vacation side and
So you
explore.
mean if something happens to you?
Yeah, yeah. And then I'm very close to my family as well.
But what could happen? You don't do. What do? You climb a mountain. What could happen?
But I fake climb the mountain. It's not even real climbing. It's just
You're gonna be
unknown.
fine.
It's just I think for these type of the things, you make a decision, you don't think much about it, and you just go there and you see yourself,
Yeah.
and you
But
spend a month.
do you need to be in Europe to do your work? You don't, right?
No, no.
Mine is the internet, which is actually, let's talk about that. So Some things are very difficult to do in Asia, and I think you can slowly find spots where to work, but being 2 3 days in a city and just moving around
Mm,
is essentially a recipe for not having stable internet. And depending on what you work on, that's actually really bad. Like we couldn't record any podcasts
mm,
because I have a couple places where I had internet and I was just, text you in the morning and that I know what that was for you, evening, whatever.
mm.
And then, yeah, if we couldn't sing, we couldn't sing. And then the internet was gone the next day. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a bit tough with the internet, to be honest.
I mean, I go to Boston Herzegovina and I'm done with the internet. Like, there's no
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
Um, and they, I mean, Boston Herzegovina is still Europe, and they should have. I mean, they do
Technically.
have technically, yeah, they do have a good internet, but at least for the type of the things we do, it's not good enough.
Yeah,
It's
like if you
just not
do
good enough.
any sort of video, you need very
Yeah,
good internet,
you
as we
need a
found
very
out this
good
morning.
internet. Yeah, you need a very good internet, and it's just like, but yeah, these tough
Yeah.
decisions, then unbelievable.
Tough decisions, but we're back now. So we're back in a cocoon, on our comfortable spot. We have our post hog, we have our sentry running, we have our little space where we can be productive. We have our internet. Oh God, I miss this internet. I didn't miss your internet for some reason. I don't know why.
Yesterday we had a call with Morning Maker Show members, and it was so nice as well to kind of catch up with everyone. We do
Yeah.
these calls every Thursday, and funny thing is that somehow there's so many things happening in one week. So taking these calls, it's like always like, do we complain or are we happy or what's actually happening? So that's a proper indie journey where you don't know what's going to happen in the next week, where you need to focus and how you're going to figure out things. And then I go back to like what I've learned in these past 2 years with Clue. It's like I came as a marketing person and I'm going out as an accounting person and a marketing person and a manager and like
Administrator and a
administrator
bit
and a
lawyer,
tax person and a
designer, yeah,
designer and editor and like I
HR
have
manager.
I have so many titles. I was laughing with the guys. I was the one person who would make parties or like not parties, but like I would take care of all the birthdays or the people going out of the company or the new coming in. And I was like, do I need to prepare a party for myself and a present for myself for leaving? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I was like, okay.
It's a
So
pretty nice position to be in.
yeah, I need to find myself a present, I guess.
Yeah,
But
give yourself a nice exit bonus.
but it's funny,
Uh,
you put yourself in this like even though what I'm trying to say is that it's super hard. You don't know like what you're gonna do today and the next week, and it can be complicated. But what like me looking back now, I grow so much as a person, not only because I have now different skills that I can implement, but like just this mindset that I can learn anything is like super important. Like the same way
mm,
you went to Asia, you don't know what to expect, but you are there and you are prepared for it. Like whatever
yeah,
happens, you're gonna figure it out. So like building this mindset, I think that was the main thing in the
yeah.
past 2 years.
Building the thick skin. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. And that's, working in any sort of startup or in your own product requires this constant learning and
Yeah.
constantly being outside of your comfort zone. And I think when that stops, you stop growing and your
Mm,
business stops growing as well.
mm,
And it is also the fun part of it that you have to wear so many hats and you have to become better at so many things fast. And one of the beautiful things about the indie maker community is that a lot of people share what they learned,
Oh
and you
yes.
kind of find these small shortcuts and ideas of how to do things, and you're never starting from scratch,
Mm,
pretty much.
yeah, that's one thing, and many people actually are here to help. So,
Yeah.
and we've seen that multiple times on, especially on our community calls. Like, any we have by the end of the call, we usually do this how to help thingy. So many people say what they need, and then the other person, or if anyone can help. So we can see this interaction happen weekly. Um, Everyone are open to help. You just need to ask, and be open about it, and don't be scared. And like, when you don't know something, you don't know something, it's not scary thing, there's always someone that is willing to teach you. And that's the beauty of this community, I think. And even you went to Asia and you found members of Morning Maker show, and you drank
That
coffee
was
and
crazy. That was crazy. Yeah. Yeah,
so
I think meeting Julia in Seoul was one of the highlights because it feels so surreal. Like we've been having Julia in the community for a very long time, and we've been chatting so much, and we didn't meet in Europe for some reason, and then just it, the world is not that big. When I think that was one of the things that kind of reassured me. Like, yeah, you're all the way 14 hours in that direction by plane, but you still know someone. Like, you're
yeah.
not alone. But I actually think that's a big part of going there and living there long term. I think this language barrier, it it doesn't help with making friends and not feeling alone. So I actually
Mm,
wonder, those that have been there, I think they either find the other indie makers and they just
mm,
hang out with those. And I think that's why we see all the people in Bali kind of coming together. Like
mm,
you don't see them with people from Bali that much, or maybe they don't show that on social media. I don't know. I haven't been there. I need to investigate this. But they're just friends with other makers from Bali.
yeah, you
So
have
you
to
kind of,
form this circle around yourself.
yeah. So it seems very difficult to become friends with someone there because you just can't communicate. So that would be a pretty awkward friendship just through signs. On one hand, on the other hand, maybe it forces you to get into the language to absorb some of the culture, and that could be like I really by the end of it, I was like, I want to learn some Japanese, speak some Japanese because I feel like I'm missing out here. But I met very few people, and those that spoke a bit of English, they weren't very comfortable doing it. So it was, it wasn't like an easy
Mm,
conversation, but there were some, and people are very friendly. I can like, it's not that. It's just they would maybe like to be friends with you, but
mm,
there's just there's this barrier in between. So yeah, it might be different in the bigger cities for sure. Like obviously more people would speak English at those, but honestly, I wouldn't be that happy in a big city. Like really not. Like I didn't like Tokyo that much. It's too big. It's like the
mm.
size of 4 Finlands or something in one city.
We live in the city, but it's like very, very peaceful. Like, you cannot.
We live in a village, Sandra.
We live in a village, exactly. Like, that's a proper way to say this. Yeah.
Yeah. There's this one station in Tokyo called Shinjuku Station, and you kind of forced to go through it because that's where these Shinkansen, the fast trains, they go through it. So if you leave Tokyo, you kind of have to go through it, but it's also like a major hub. And I hated that. I hated it so much because every time you'd go there, you thought, how you check Google Maps, which by the
Mm.
way, if I didn't have Google Maps, I wouldn't be here speaking. I would be somewhere in Shinjuku Station, like trying to find my way. But Google Maps is like, oh yeah, 45 minutes from your location to there. Good. And you go to the station, and it takes you 15 minutes to go out. And let me explain this to
Is
you.
it like an airport thingy?
It has 200 exits, Sandra.
Oh my God.
A train station, metro station, whatever, with 200 exits. And it's kind of key to find your exit
You know
because, you
what's
know,
funny?
there's,
I'm so sorry that in Finland we have metro with like two lanes. In Helsinki, one goes up, one goes down. You cannot
yeah,
get
yeah.
lost.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah. Well, Copenhagen was like this up until 3 years ago or something. Now we got like a ring thing, and that's like, oh my God, it's a big
Ooh.
city now. No, it's not. Like the size of a train here is the size of two cars there, and you cannot compare it. But I really didn't like that part, and I didn't really like being underground like a rat. Like I was just
Mm,
being, you know, 3 levels deep trying to find my
mm,
way, and you find this cafe and you want to reach it, and let me tell you, Google Maps is not good at floors. Like this is a new challenge that you don't think about. Like what if your location is not at the street level? What if it's like
mm.
two down or two up, and everything's two down or two up because they've built in all directions, and you're supposed to go to this cafe that should take half an hour, and there's half an hour more because you can't find the damn cafe anywhere. So I don't know, it just feels like you spend all this time on this, and it's just like that's how it is. That's everyone commutes there, and it kind of, you know, I was this guy in the corner thinking, you know, like I don't have to do all of this, like all of you going to work, sitting for 1.5 hours in the train. Like I can just pull out my laptop and do it right here, you know. Like I don't have to do it. So that was kind of a nice feeling as a indie maker, or yeah, if you can work remotely, just you don't have to be somewhere.
Yeah. What was the best thing? Was the food?
Yeah,
Yeah.
food was really good. Yeah, I think in Korea food was actually very interesting to me.
Mm,
So, but even after 10 days, I had problems with my stomach, and not because the food was bad, it's because everything was spicy. Like if you
mm.
don't like spicy food, Korea's not for you.
Told you, told you we're
They
gonna have
don't.
issues with this.
Yeah. I mean, you eat Korean food in Europe, but it's like
Yeah.
the European version.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And they don't really do breakfast that much, to be honest. So, you kind of breakfast is sort of the dinner you had before, but reheated or something. So, yeah, man, but
Were
it's
you
really
staying?
good.
Were you staying in hotels or Airbnbs?
Mostly hotels by the end, and I think that was also one of the barriers. Like they have their own local Airbnbs,
Mm,
and those are a lot cheaper. But then you have the language issue on top. So the first time you go there, you kind of want to minimize the things that can go wrong, especially if you stay there for a few days and you travel to somewhere. I thought it's a little bit easier with hotels, and it was like super simple.
mm,
And there's, you know, it's the same as booking it anywhere in the world. It's you just it just works. Airbnb wasn't super popular though. Like I checked it out. I think maybe this is a thing in general that Airbnb is not much cheaper than the hotel these days. Have you noticed this?
yep,
Like
yep,
it's
yep.
very close. So unless you want like a big apartment and you go there with friends or something, yeah, I don't know. And I don't know how it is there, to be honest.
Wow,
So
my indie maker brain is all like already like, are we ready for the new competitor to Airbnb? And the limit would be like 50 euros, not more than that.
yeah,
You
yeah.
stop there.
You know what was one of the things that, and it's just like the what social media feeds to you. One of the things that I was kind of afraid in the Airbnb is that you have all these hidden cameras everywhere, and I was like, it's stupid. But I thought, you know, I don't want to deal with that. Like, what? Go
Maybe my
behind the
hotel
mirrors
room.
and see. Yeah, it's like, is anyone there? Yeah, that's also a
Maybe
thing
my
in the
pajama.
States apparently. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of these like Airbnbs having cameras and stuff, and it's not even like I don't think Airbnb can do that much about it. Like it's sort of a private space, so yeah. But I definitely recommend going there for ramen. I think that was we don't know what ramen is. They know they have it there. It's very good. I wrote the story about going to this ramen restaurant where you don't have to interact with anyone, and that was a pretty crazy experience because you actually sit there with your thoughts. And I know you're a very social person. I think you would hate this. I think you'd totally hate it because you just put some money in a machine, you get some tickets, you pick a seat, and you get this booth, and then you sit there by yourself. Like the thing opens up, they put your bowl. Can you believe this? They put your bowl, like you don't have to say anything, and then they shut it down, and it's just you
It
with the
sounds like a
food.
prison.
I know, it's not for you. I loved it though. It was such a cool experience. It was so cool. And it was
Oh,
like those places were packed and it's like a huge chain there. So, you know, you just come after work and you're there with your thoughts like what should I do for marketing next week? And you just get your bowl of soup and think about your marketing campaigns.
what about
Yeah.
the nightlife? Did you guys go out or something like that? Is
Yeah,
there a
there's
huge
a lot.
difference?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a shock. Depending on where you go, like there are different districts. Right? As I said, like Tokyo is the size of some countries. That's where
Mm.
we've been. People like to dress up a lot, and you kind of feel like you're kind of an outsider. So, like, really dress up uh, in many ways. So, I didn't feel like I'm fitting there very well, and
Mm.
it was like, but I think it's the same. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would dress up eventually. Maybe like I don't even do it for Halloween. It's not a big thing for me. So yeah, but it's part of the this
The-
their culture, right? They like to
mm.
do this, so I can dig
It's
it.
a different world, definitely. It's a different
A
world, and
different world, yeah, yeah. But I'm happy to be back. I'm really happy to be back. I'm ready to do something
welcome
productive
to
to
your
build.
hotel room. Welcome to your dark, lonely, depressing hotel room. I'm so happy you're back. I was a little bit annoyed. I'm happy that you're happy. But what about me? So, sit down, lock yourself in an apartment.
What about me? Yeah, I love that.
If we suffer together. I'm just joking, but like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
remember me in Italy, you know very well how the situation goes. It's hard.
Yes,
And I think
yes.
you are absolutely right. Like, the only way to see if you would be able to live somewhere like that is to actually go there for 3 months and live and deal with every daily life thingy that is put in front of you. Otherwise, it's just everything is super exciting, and the food and people and nightlife and even going to these co-working spaces where you should work, it's more interesting just to chat with people and see how and what they are building and how is the situation there. So you need to go for the 3 months at least, and then I'll wait you in the pressing Nordics. And
But that's I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Like you
but
sound like
but
all
I
your
love
life is settled here and this is not a choice. It's kind of everyone else will maybe do this, but me, this is my place.
look,
Is that
you
true?
guys
Is
go
that true,
out.
Sandra? This is not Sandra. Who am I speaking to?
No, I wish as well. Like, I could do a month or two somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. But I also
Right.
like
It
to have
doesn't even
friends
have to
all
be.
over the world and just use their houses as my hotels.
Yeah. And you could offer your apartment, in
Mm.
exchange and just do, like I said, didn't you say that at some point? I
Yeah,
thought that's the, is there like a
last
website
summer.
where you could do that or
I
something?
don't know, but for some reason, whatever I talk about, Instagram hears me and then it shoots me these ads. And now I checked it out. There was like this ad about some app that is like something like, do you remember couch surfing or whatever
Couch
it was
surfing. Yeah,
called?
yeah,
Yeah.
couch surfing.
So it's very similar, but you exchange your homes. I went there. It's fake. Like, it's not like that. You actually have to pay. But like exchanging your homes is something very interesting, I think.
Yeah.
But it has to be
But
with the
aren't you,
person
so
you
if
know.
you're if you've described this comfortable person that likes to have a home, but at the same time you're not afraid of complete strangers
No.
having your home. Explain this to me. I
I
can.
was in Airbnb business for like 2 months.
What? You?
Yeah, I put my home on Airbnb.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what
Um,
was the result? Like, did someone trash your apartment?
no,
That's just
no,
like,
no, no. They were super nice. Like everyone were super nice. It was like actually really nice experience. And in that experience, I realized that I have to be super nice when doing Airbnb as well. When I'm leaving, at least Airbnb, take your trash and wash your dishes and you know these things.
why
Put
you
your
don't do
sheets.
that?
I do that now.
You were like in a hotel, like just yeah, they'll come and clean. Like, it's not like these dishes are gonna be here until the next one. Oh my god,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Although I have to say, like they do these really annoying fees on top, and some
It,
of them are
what does
like,
that mean? What does
yeah,
that mean?
yeah,
What
it's
is a
like
cleaning
administration
fee?
fee, cleaning fee,
Yeah,
whatever fee. So then have something to clean, you know? Like here it is, like here's some dishes for you, so I get my money worth. Yeah, I don't know.
it's confusing. Airbnb is becoming a very weird place.
Yeah, yeah, but it's still a good option. I mean, yeah, it's okay. I think it's okay in Europe at least. Like I don't have enough experience in the States. I think in the States, from what I hear, it's a lot worse. Like these days, just get a hotel to be honest. But
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, we have a few questions. We can go real quick, and then apparently you have to take care of a dog that I just found out.
Do you want to
That
see the dog?
I want to see the dog. Can you show us the dog? Oh my god, she's gonna show us the dog.
Miska.
Wait, it's just there?
What?
It's is it just there, the dog?
Yes, but she's sleeping and she's feeling so nice.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Don't wake up the dog.
it's the best dog in the world, I have to tell you. She only sleeps, eats, and cuddle, and then you have responsibility of taking her out 3 times a day. But that's about it. It doesn't barf. No, honestly,
Is
it
that
doesn't.
normal?
I think so. I think that's a normal dog. Every other
Philippe in
dog
the
is not
chat is
normal.
asking to move your camera and show the dog. We
Okay, I
need to
should.
see the dog.
Okay, I go pick up the dog. You found the questions.
Yeah. I think most dogs are supposed to bark. There's something, well, let's not question it too much.
I can't. It's so cute and it's laying down.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
put the
Send us a
picture.
photo. Yeah,
Yeah.
send us a photo afterwards. Yeah.
Yes.
And in next show, we will show you the dog. Tune in, subscribe, like. Um,
Oh, she's
yeah,
so cute.
yeah. But let's do some questions. So we have. Oh man, I didn't miss the part where I mispronounced the names. I think this is Jorge. Jorge. Is some if someone speaks Spanish, please don't laugh at me. But Jorge, that was nice, right?
It was good. It was good. I support that.
He says, "Have you made any local friends?" That's the first one that I kind of touched upon it. The answer is no, and it's because of the language. But I do think it's possible, and I do think you might, if you need to put some effort into it, but you might find some that speak just enough. And to be honest, I miss that. I think it's like a big part of the experience to have someone that lives there. That I would have liked that more. It was quite difficult. I wanted to be friends with a lot of people. It was just not happening.
It's okay then. I'll be your friend forever.
That sounds pretty weird, doesn't it? Like I wanted to be friends, but no one talked to me. They just said no,
Middle
no, no
school.
English, no speak, no speak. Look at this weirdo. Yeah. How much ramen can you eat in one day? That's a very good question, actually.
How much
People
ramen is
told
healthy
me,
to eat in one day?
yeah, but people told me that the portions are very small. They are not.
Mm,
Like I could barely eat one bowl of ramen, and I can see like in some places next to me, they would get refills. So they would eat usually noodles and
mm,
maybe some toppings, but they would eat like two, three refills, and I could barely finish one bowl. So I'm an amateur at this,
mm.
or yeah. But the answer is between one and three bowls, and you're pretty full. I do have one thing, and I'm gonna write. I wasn't really feeling the energy to write on X, also because all of the drama that happened.
And we will
But
cover that in the next episode.
we will cover that in the next episode. We have to because it's not going away really, not for me. But I really had the block in writing things on X, and I just wrote some spontaneous things. But I think people don't understand that when they see like a thoughtful post or a post where you share a learning, that you have
Mm,
to sit down and write this thing and put a lot of effort into it.
mm.
And I think some people expect you to do that, but I haven't done that. And actually got a lot of flack for it. Like, what's going on with this guy? It's just like low quality, low effort, whatever, as if like this used to be fun anyway. So, what I wanted to post is the way I got out of Japan because it was tough. It was like a breakup, you know? And you kept asking me like, "Are you coming back? Are you coming back?" And I was
Yeah, it
like,
was very
"Meh."
annoying.
Yeah. And the way I did it is I went to a ramen festival, okay? Don't laugh. And there were like 20 booths with different types of ramen. So you can do a lot of creative stuff with ramen. And the soup itself, the broth, can be made out of chicken or pork or a
Mm,
mix or even a beef and like usually long cooked, simmered down bones, and then you get the
yes,
soup out of that,
that's the
right?
best one.
And it's like a huge effort. Like the soup is what makes the ramen or not. Anyway, Philippe is saying if the ramen festival was the indie hacker village, that's pretty much how I imagined the indie hacker to be. And I got five bowls. And remember, I could eat only one when I was hungry, and I was like, I need to, when you really like something and you eat too much of it, and then you kind of feel a bit disgusted at it because you just had too much. That was my plan. And by the third one, which I really struggled with, I was like, I'm done. Like I can't. Like the other two, not gonna happen. I'm getting out of here. So very, very good question,
So
Jorge.
that was the only way to leave.
Yes, I think three. Three is my final answer. You can eat three bowls of ramen a day. If you space them out, maybe five, but three at once for sure. Definitely not five. And I've tried. Uh,
So breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack.
yes. All right. A couple more. He had very good questions. All right. Let's get back. So, would you have stayed longer in Japan? Absolutely. I think I saw 0.1% of it,
Mm,
and also 0.1% of each city that I've been through. I've been through many, and just in Tokyo, you could probably be for 3 months and not see all of it. It's just so huge, and also a little bit outside.
mm.
Everything's huge. There's so much to see. I need years. So I could only go out
Yeah.
via the ramen festival method, which I will patent and write a course on. How many photos have they secretly taken of you? Um, in Korea, maybe some. In Japan, I would say none because people are very respectful. But this is a thing in Asia, and I think especially in China. When I was in China, I remember being at this restaurant and people trying to kind of take their phone, like they would take it and point it like in a complete opposite direction, and then slowly film you, but as if they weren't really interested in you. They were, filming something else, and you just
Mm.
happened to be in their video. But no, it was It's like pretty clear that they were just filming you because I don't know, you were
You are
probably
interesting.
interesting to them. Yeah, yeah. So if you go far enough, yeah, that will happen a lot. But in Japan, it's like no one dares to do that. Like they're so respectful. I was bowing, son. I was bowing to everyone. Like by the end of it, I was just getting into the, you have these gates at the metro, and I was bowing to the security guard, like thanking him for guarding the metro or something. It's crazy. So yeah, that's
It
that's
seems like you had a really nice time then, though.
yeah, sure, for sure. You should go there. You should Airbnb your place and just go. And honestly, you'll get a lot of money in Helsinki for that. You can probably live off of that in Asia.
Oh
I
yeah,
will
yeah.
I will be in charge of a campaign to make you do that.
You think I'm ready?
Uh I think I think now you have a dog and you have responsibilities. So actually I have no idea how it is traveling with a dog. Probably quite difficult. Or like the dog itself, I don't think is gonna enjoy traveling that
Yeah,
much.
it's too long. It's too long.
Yeah. But you brought the dog from Bosnia or what?
There was a direct flight from Ljubljana to Helsinki. It's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So there was no transit, one plane. But even that was not complicated. It was first time dealing with something like that, and you need a box, you need a proper box, and you need to check the plane. It's a special plane that has this cargo that is being heated. So you
Yeah,
need to
right,
call
right.
the
Because you cannot
airline
just
and
throw the dog like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
like you can bring the dog up with yourself if it's like less than 8 kilos, I think so.
Uh-huh.
But everything above that needs to go into these special cargos.
8 kilos is not a lot, is it?
It's
For a
not a
dog?
lot. Like
No.
Mishka is very small and she has like 12 kilos, so it's nothing.
How is it, Mishka?
Mishka. I posted yesterday. It's so cute. Actually, it's really nice. Having a
Why
dog is
haven't you
really nice.
announced this? Why are you okay, okay. You're holding stuff from me. You're not on X. You're
No,
like you're not posting things. You're not
I
posting
know.
any personal stuff. You're not what's going on?
So it seems like Dan is not following my ex, and this is very disappointing because anytime he posts anything, I actually get a
My
notification.
internet was bad.
But I posted Mishka yesterday on X, and people were asking what's her name, and I got mad because someone said that it's he, and I didn't want to write a name. I got mad. I was like, "Can't you see this beautiful lady in front of yourself?" And but it's Mishka. It's
When
very
did you
cute.
post? Why didn't post it?
Yesterday, I wrote I have a small intern in office.
Yeah, but that didn't. Yeah, I saw that. And by the way, that looked like a different dog from what I've seen this morning. But let's not talk about it. And it wasn't clear that it's your dog. Like, how am I supposed to know it's your dog? I thought it's an office dog.
No, of course not.
It's
It's
not an
it,
office dog.
it's a Sandra happy dog.
Nice.
I know,
Okay.
Dan, but it's been. I've told you, 3 weeks is a lot. Like
So you are
3 weeks.
denying the allegations that you are not active on social media anymore.
Okay, I have to be honest. I've been pretty bad with doing social media for the past 3 weeks.
But why?
A lot of things happening, and I don't think my Twitter, and I've never cared about that. Like, I never cared to have a specific niche. On X, I usually post whatever is on my mind: marketing, accounting, my personal life, pictures, videos, whatever. But somehow, like in these past 3 weeks, like, there is a lot of like thought process and things happening, and you don't know how much you want to post and what you can post, and I just didn't want to put the pressure on myself that I have to post anything if I don't have anything to say. So now that we have made announcements, we can move forward with our lives and go
Yeah.
back to
Can I
the
call you
social
out
media.
on something?
Yes, please do that.
Yeah. So Sandra 1 month ago was like, this weekend I will stream while I build an app with ChatGPT. In fairness, you didn't. So if you say next weekend, it could be next weekend in
Any weekend.
2026. So you didn't give an exact date, which is very sneaky of you. But I don't think. Yeah, maybe my internet was bad, but I don't think I saw that happening online. What happened? Philippe is also asking what happened. He had money invested in it. I've added that part. You can
Hey,
ignore.
as Dan said, next weekend we go live. I don't know. I don't know. It's. I still want to do it, and I'll do it. I will do it. It's just like
We'll do it next week.
I can do it next week. Yeah,
Okay.
like the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we need to start. Like that's the indie mindset. If we don't start it, we cannot ship it. So we need to start. So next weekend we start. Everyone heard we're live. Philippe has approved this. He said yes, yes, yes in the chat, which is essentially if we don't build this, he will come for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we made also two YouTube videos of like ideas we could build. So
Yeah.
we just need to make a choice.
Yeah, that's the next question. Have you settled on an idea to build?
No?
I think what we wanted to do, and correct me if I'm mixing this up, was this this site where you can buy being on the front page somehow. Wasn't that it? Like
Oh yeah.
you forgot about it. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's a bit
yeah, I remember.
like popular. Okay, remind me because I forgot. The only thing that I remember was that you can buy to be on the front page of this website for a while, and then once a certain time expires, then you're taken down, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
and the
you
one
can
if
buy
you
how many days you are the first on or
yeah
the center on the of the website, and then someone can buy you out pretty much, and then you are out. And
was this combined with a map or some sort of thing
no, the
like
map
you?
was another idea.
Okay, so another idea was to submit your profile on a map and have like a map of indie makers around the world,
Mm,
something like that.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
yeah,
But having that would be really cool. Like, look at you. You went to Japan. You could have
yeah.
seen like all the indie
True.
makers there, and then just reach
Yeah,
out
to
to them and be
connect.
like, "I'm
Yeah,
here. I want to connect." And
yeah. But that's harder to monetize, I guess.
it's hard to monetize. Yeah,
But the other one is not a high stakes thing. It's like a fun
it's a
project.
fun
Like
project.
you might get some sales. So I think maybe a small fun project is a better idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Philippe says that he built a YouTube transcribe app from a tutorial, and he got it to work. Like still many things that didn't work for him.
Mm.
And I want, yeah, you can also follow a tutorial and build something. That's maybe an okay idea too, instead of starting from scratch and like not knowing. Because when you start from absolutely nothing, you don't even know what to ask, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah. So
But I have you.
you have me. I don't know what's my role in this. How much am I allowed to help, or can I just?
I think we spoke about it. It was like I have rights to 3 questions
Oh yeah, yeah. Per show.
per show, per a person, so I can bring anyone I want.
Yeah. All right, I'm in it. Let's do it. 3 questions. Start by next weekend. We have the idea ready to go.
Yeah.
I would like to not spend 70% of the first session on the logo and colors, but there is a chance. That happens.
We don't even have to do that. Like we don't have to care. We just dig into coding and
Yeah, just start from coding. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No dark mode?
Nah. Yeah, that next week.
That's that's week 2. Yeah. So yeah, we do that, and I will just be around to essentially cheer
You
you
can,
up and say you can
yeah,
do it.
yeah, and you can keep like you can entertain me with all the drama that is happening and that has happened, and then we can speak about that while building.
Sure. I think I'll have to. Have you ever tried building something while you're live?
No, of course not. I mean, we
Okay.
did it with the Morning Maker show, but with like logo and the website. But
Oh
you
yeah,
were
we
the
did
one
that.
building, yeah.
No, no, but it's the same because if you want to get the thing done, you have to focus a little bit. Like regardless of what it is,
Mm,
you cannot focus on two things at once. So you're either gonna miss a part of the discussion or just end up silent and like focusing on it and be like, oh, I forgot to speak.
mm,
So I have a like huge respect for those that stream and build by themselves because you need to have some focus at some point, like
mm.
just to understand things.
Do you see
So
how our backgrounds are totally different? Like you are a dark mode and I'm a light mode here.
yes,
Such a match.
completely, completely. Yeah, I thought you were gonna ask me about my background actually. You didn't.
Well, it looks like you are in that ramen restaurant where no one speaks to each other, and
How do you know? Yeah, it is
it
actually
is.
that. Yes. It looked exactly like this. Yeah, and like below there, yeah, you would sit in one of those booths and like just
I take
I
back.
know, I know.
It is
This
a
is
prison, but you came to visit someone in a prison. It looks like that.
I mean, I cannot pitch this to you because you're one of the most social people that exist on
Thank you
Earth, I
very much.
guess.
Thank you, thank you, thank
So,
you.
yeah,
Is
I
that even a
totally,
compliment? I don't know anymore.
yeah. I think maybe that's you might have a tough time in some countries in Asia because you're like
But
way
look, I
too
live in
connected
Finland.
with
No one
people.
speaks hugs and kisses in Finland at all, so I think I'm good.
Yeah, true. Hugs and kisses.
Like,
Ah, like that. Okay, okay. Like, isn't that Italian style or?
yeah, Italians stole it from the Bosnians.
Ah, yeah, sure. What else? Okay, before we go, tell me one invention from Bosnia or like tradition that is really popular in the world but no one knows about. Put you on the spot.
Oh my God.
Like it could be food, it could be kissing on the cheek, it could
You
be I
know
don't
what's the
know.
problem? We were under Ottoman Empire for so long. Whatever I say, there's
Ah,
gonna be
but if you
someone
start with the
coming.
excuses, you start with the
There's
excuses.
gonna be someone like if we have a delicious food, and whenever I say it's our food, they're like, no, 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 no. I'm so sorry, but it's like Turkish. I'm like, come on, give us something. But like we have sarma and cevapcici and shish and all of these things. You would think it's Turkish, but I would say no.
Really? All of these are Bosnian,
Oh my God,
kind of.
I cannot. I don't know. Can I
You're
say?
gonna get so cancelled. Like we have, where's John Rush? John Rush, please. We need
He's
we need
popping from
someone
here.
Turkish. Yeah, he's gonna come straight to
He's
Helsinki.
gonna write me a book.
Yeah, you cannot say that. You remember he made this post where he said, "Where should I create indie maker village? And should it be Istanbul or I don't know Madeira
He,
or some
yeah,
place?" Yeah, and people got very personal. He would like he got threatened physically by people because of that post. So what you did now, I take no. I don't know you. Who are you?
oh, then don't do that now. We are in this together. I go
Oh
down, you
boy.
go down with me.
Oh boy. Oh boy. We both go down. All right. All right. So today I learned that all the delicious fast food is actually Bosnian.
Yeah, but talking about Bosnia, beautiful nature. if someone is in Europe and wants to travel and it's super affordable, great people, great food, so I should be at like
How
I would
much?
be
How much is it per month to have a comfortable life in
in
Bosnia?
Bosnia. I mean, if you're one person there, like 1,000 euro per a month would be like you're living a very nice life.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
That's like $1,200, or what's the? What? I don't know how much euros.
Yeah.
No, it's like
No, wait, less.
$1,100.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
even. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cheap. And you eat well with that money?
You eat well, you have nature, you have like everything you pretty much need.
Why are you in Finland?
I don't like the government.
But you don't need to like the government.
I know, I know.
You can go to
I
Canada
like Bosnia very much, but it's more like you go there for a few days, like 2 weeks. You enjoy everything, then you pack your stuff and you're
and it
out.
gets annoying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What about the people?
I love the people. People are nice. Like I have friends and family there, so you have your ground there, and people are super, super friendly, super friendly. So I highly, highly recommend people visiting Bosnia and Herzegovina and just enjoying the nature and food. And you have pretty much everything. You have a mountain and you have the sea and like 25 kilometers of the seashore.
The best
The
part
best.
of it.
But it's real. Like this mountain we went, I'm actually quite sad because I have not experienced Bosnia and Herzegovina fully, and I'm going into this now journey of like traveling more and
Is
exploring.
it such a big country? No.
It's not that big country, but it's very beautiful country. Like there is a bunch of mountains there. Did you saw the picture how beautiful it is? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
actually
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
And I think we were at this. I don't know how to translate it, but at certain point you have these homes for the for the climbers, pretty much, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's like some of them are free. Some of them you will pay like 5 euros to sleep. We had a full house and like 40 beds, and we were alone there. Like but it's beautiful. It's made from wood, and then there is different houses around it, and
Indie
I
Maker
yeah.
Village in
Indie
Bosnia.
Maker Village. So John, like, step down because I'm coming in.
It's just like he's the president of indie makers. Like, please step
I
down as the
don't think so.
president. Yeah.
Who had this idea first then? Can we like pull the tweets out? Like when we were talking about this.
Yeah, yeah, we had. I mean, we wanted to do this event long time ago
Yeah.
with Alex from Baked Design.
Mm.
We wanted to do like we even had the
Retreat.
website.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like a retreat where we build something, and then at the end we launch it on Product Hunt, and like I don't know, it becomes an actual product at the end. So I would still like to do that, but the logistics we need Sentry to back us. We
Then trip
promised
us back.
to, yeah, we promised to have no bugs. No, wait. We promised to have a lot of bugs so they show up in Sentry. So then we
Exactly.
can say
Exactly. But I think that's much better idea than the indie village itself. Like
yeah,
just having these 5 days, one location, not 5 days, a weekend, one
yeah,
location, building something together, launching it, and
yeah.
then just
Yeah, the other one is a huge commitment. This one is
huge
like
commitment.
whatever, yeah. But I think also in the indie village you can stay for like a week if you want, just to meet people. So that's probably most people would do that also because you want to see how it is maybe before you go there for 6 months. So I mean, not in Bosnia. Bosnia is great. Like I'm sold.
We are going to Bosnia then. We
Yeah,
are going to
6 months,
Bosnia. Ah, too much, too much. But
1 month.
3 weeks.
That's the max. Okay. So it's nice, but not that nice.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Like it's gorgeous. It's
But if it's gorgeous, it's cheap, and the people are okay, why just 3 weeks? Like, explain this to me.
okay, a month, fine. But then There are like I think we, or at least I got a little bit spoiled in that sense. Like I don't know why am I'm thinking as a grown up. I don't know what's happening with me, but like you want to have like a proper system that takes care of you if shit goes down, and that's every human on this planet should live like that. Like you go, you chase life, you do things, but sometimes if things get tough, you have a system to back you up. And
You want things to work, yeah.
I truly believe in that. I want things to work. And I think we complain a lot about taxes in Nordics, but at least you know where these taxes are going and you can see a changes, and you know that kids are like and students are getting the money and going through the education without feeling stress or pressure that they need to like work and think also about that side of their life. So you kind of know that the public system also works, and there's also a lot of government issues here in Nordics, but it's a little bit easier to comprehend that and
Yeah,
figure it out. And
it's an easy life, yeah.
it's a little bit easier life because you don't have
But
that pressure that you will stay on the street or anything like that. So
yeah, but when you say that, you kind of imply that you will have this classical path where you go to some education and go to some job afterwards, and you kind of, I guess most people do that still.
mhm.
But if you don't have to do that, does it matter that much? If you learn from YouTube and work
Oh
on your
yeah,
own, and
absolutely. Like I absolutely like this is we are getting into this new stage. We don't know what's going to happen like with the education and how we're going to absorb the
yeah,
knowledge in the next years, for sure.
yeah, next generations might just learn with AI and
Yeah.
do a lot of things, and then yeah, there are already a lot of self-taught people,
Mm.
but this has accelerated a lot because now you have your personal teacher that you can ask about your specific situation. It's just like a completely new thing. So then
Yeah.
if you don't need this education, like of course before you get to, I don't know, 18 or whatever, you need some education, I suppose. I don't
Legally.
know. Yes, right. I mean, you cannot be a savage, but like you get some basic things. But afterwards, you don't need this. You don't need the government, maybe. I don't know.
No, I meant in the sense of like not the government, but at least the government that cares about the
Yeah.
people in that sense. Because like even for indie makers, we always think about like runways and how much money we have to even think about the projects and how much we can get involved in any of these projects. You think about the money. But then again, if you lose your job, you have a union, or if you lose your job, you have some kind of social support that will keep you going for some time. So at least that pressure is off your back.
Yeah.
And not many even countries in Europe have that. So
Yeah.
and I wish we all had that like this.
That was the fun thing with Dagobert, right? So he got this job after quitting the startup, and he stayed there for 6 months or something, and then he got unemployment for I don't know how long, and then it was actually quite nice to have that, I guess, because you have this free runway to build the next thing. So things change. It might be nice that you have that instead of nothing, essentially. So I see your point.
Yeah. But you are part of a union,
European Union.
not European Union. You have some kind of
Oh,
union.
union.
Yeah.
Not really. No, no, because I don't work for anyone.
I know, but even as an entrepreneur, you should take a
Yeah,
look at it. It's always good to.
yeah, I know. Like,
Oh,
yeah. So
Americans
for
now
those
will
that
hate me.
don't know, yeah, but unions in the Nordics are sort of the backbone. They're not only the ones that keep things fair when you have a problem,
Mm.
but they constantly negotiate
Yeah.
things, and they're also like a legal counselor sometimes. Like, do you need
Yeah,
some sort
yeah,
of business advice or register a company or whatnot? So
yeah.
it's actually, yeah, it when it works, when they actually get some power to make a change, the unions make sense. And I think a lot of times, like I remember many years ago, Uber wanted to come to Denmark, and
Mm.
essentially the taxi union was able to block them legally because they didn't have licenses and stuff, and they would have taken a lot of jobs and disrupted, which is, I mean, for the consumer maybe it's not that bad, but people would lose their jobs and their
Mm.
livelihoods, and then the union helped them with that. So yeah, you can also see it from the degrowth perspective that it's not that easy to disrupt something as is in the States, where everyone's in for themselves. If you make money, if you know find your niche, it doesn't matter. People are going to be on the streets, but if you make money, you're good.
Mm.
So all right,
Uh,
good discussion.
yes.
I will consider Bosnia if this
Thank you
was
very
an
much.
invite.
Yes, this is an open invite.
Maybe you do an invite for all the Morning Maker Show members, huh?
Do you want to make an indie village happen? Not in the village,
just
in the retreat.
just a 1 week Bosnia retreat.
1 week Bosnian retreat. Yeah.
How do we make that happen?
Thank you for our sponsor, Sentry. Please use Sentry. The bugs goes away and the people go to retreat.
That could be the new slogan on the website. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right. So nice to see you, Sandra.
Nice to
Looking
see you,
forward to
Dan.
next week when we build something.
Yes, we build something. We have fun. We enjoy indie life. And I'm so happy that you're back. Your internet connection was excellent in this episode. I'm very happy. And please have a lovely weekend, everyone. You can listen to the show on Spotify and every single podcast out there. We love YouTube. Lara is doing absolutely amazing job with editing all of these videos. So keep an eye on that. And then see you in the next episode. Oh, this was good. You have to give it
Bye. I'm stopping it.
a wait.